Hello. New patch. New patch. Dropped on Tuesday. Today's Friday. I've not even logged on to Final Fantasy until today. Since Monday when I did some raiding. I've been fully distracted by Palworld. It's been great. But yeah, we now have the final step for the Dawntrail relic. We have the new area for the Occult Crescent, which comes with the new Forked Tower, the Forked Tower of Magic, which also has an extreme version. We have Allied Society quests, which we could potentially do. Probably not this week. We will do them soon. And I think that's about it. I think everything else has been bug fixes or just patching things so that they're slightly better, like UMAD. Oh, there's also more Hildebrand, but I've not done any of the Dawntrail Hildebrand yet. Perfect timing. Been meaning to have a word with you. I'm guessing you remember Geralt's plan to combine his modern methods with that ancient knowledge he's uncovered. Well, sounds like he needs to examine that phantom weapon of yours. Would you mind obliging? I'll be straight with you, lass. I'm worried about your phantom weapon. Part of me hopes it's just the rum talking, but I need to take a gander either way. Go on, stow it away. I've seen enough. Just as predicted, eh? Indeed. I'm afraid the weapon is, in a sense, defective. What? To think the Isle's ether could deceive even my superlative perception. Potent force, indeed. I may be, but now we know the plan will work. Hold on, I'm struggling to keep up here. Fair enough. Perhaps you could all do with a reminder. Do you remember what we've done to your phantom weapon so far? It's all flown right over my head, honestly. Something involving vast quantities of ether, I gathered, or I believe you infused it with the Isle's elusive energies. Exactly. Just like those energies, your weapons are shifting intangible phantom. In short, the ether permeating this Isle's teeming with illusory properties, and highly potent to boot. It's that what gives your weapon its frightening power. Of course, that power needed stabilizing, which is why we turned to ancient methods to keep the ether from dissipating. I thought we'd done the trick, but apparently not. Perhaps there was some flaw in the process? It would appear so. While the Isle's ether greatly elevates the weapon's capabilities, its volatile nature is limiting the potential for further enhancement. We were able to verify as much by examining the adventurer's weapon earlier. So you're saying there's more power to wring out of the thing, but we just can't get to it? Can't get to it yet. Hence my grand plan. To counteract the phantasmal energies infusing the weapon, reveal its innate form, and unleash its true potential. Perfectly logical approach, but is such a thing possible? For a smith of me peerless talent it is, and worthy of a little praise, I'd say. If you want all the details, you'll have to congratulate me on my brilliant planning before I crack open another bottle of rum and forget all about it. They just want me to emote on it crazy style? Oh no. Oh, I got too close. I was clapping his neck. Basking in your admiration's thirsty work. Might crack open the rum after all. Only joking. Truth is, I'm itching to get started. Wait. He's gotten over his alcoholism? I see that there is a tactician taking photos of me, by the way. Those phantasmal energies I mentioned bound your weapon in a complex illusion, preventing it from truly shining. By stripping that illusion away and revealing the true essence of the weapon, we solve the problem. Stripping the illusion away. Like using a glamour dispeller to remove the projected appearance of arms and armor? That might be feasible with the right apparatus. Now you're talking. The best part is we've already got just the thing for the job, ain't that right? A certain knife comes to mind. Exactly. When the archive cut into his catch with that rusty old knife, the glamour was dispelled and the bleeding thing shrank. That blade's the key. Thankfully, the little fella let me borrow it for a while. Just as expected, the blade's imbued with unique dispelling magics. All told, it's quite the relic in its own right. And you reckon we can use it to cut through the illusion surrounding the phantom weapon? Aye, but the Isle's ether's vexing stuff. Nothing short of the most potent dispelling magic will suffice. Which is why we'll need to enhance the blade first. Sounds eminently logical to me. Don't know if I trust the archive with a perfectly honed blade. This whole process continues to confuse and astound me. I don't know if we can trust the archive with a perfectly honed blade. Stabby stabby. What harm could the little fella possibly do? Sounds like we ought to slice through those lingering doubts of yours while we're at it. Any road. We'll need to own the blade to boost its dispelling properties. Don't mind what we use as long as it's top quality kit. If it's blade sharpening supplies we're after, I've heard nothing but the highest praise from Monarch whetstones. They ought to sell them in Bayside Bevy. Ancestral alloy ingots, ascendant twine, and majestic polish likewise command a good reputation. A skilled artisan should be more than capable of crafting them, though I'm sure they can also be purchased with sufficient gil. Seeing as how the rest of us are still stuck on this bastard rock, this falls to you again, lass. Hand over the goods when you're ready. Thankfully, I have a sugar daddy. Who comes with a delivery service. Oh, I thank you. So the Monarch whetstone. That's the one from Bayside Bevy. Where be Bayside Bevy? Is that in Tuliolo? Same market as last time. That's bold that you think I remember last time. But yes, this is Bayside Baby. Okay. It's not you. Oof. It was the Monarch West zone, yeah. I still need to do custom deliveries for Dawntrail as well. Can't forget about those. There is actually a decent... I fucked up. There is actually a decent amount of content that I've still yet to do. I've still not done any of Cosmic Exploration. The fuck? The fuck do you want? Funny you should show up now. I was just about to go over my expedition report. With all that's happened, it's turned into quite the yarn, but perhaps you'd be willing to take a listen? Right, here goes. Oh, this will be the guide to unlock the North Horn. Plotting an eastward course from High Tide Harbour, Ketan Ram and his veteran crew set forth for Shade's Triangle, resolved to uncover the mysteries of that treacherous stretch of ocean. After days of steady sailing, they at last laid eyes upon the occult crescent. Something strange was afoot. The isle shifted and shimmered like a mirage, confounding all attempts at approach. Just as the crew began to despair, an unknown force seized the ship, guiding it towards the island. According to daring adventurer and valued expedition member After, this occurred moments after a strange voice rang out in her mind. Though it remains unclear, it is plausible this mystery speaker and the ship steering force are somehow linked. Once ashore, the crew entered the Phantom Village. Here, in one of its long-abandoned structures, they made a startling discovery. A wizened but welcoming old fellow called the Archive, seemingly afflicted with the Tonbury curse. Learning of Ketan Ram's plans, the Archive readily offered his expertise. Yet it soon became apparent that this expertise had been sealed away, the only means of recall being to hear what the adventurer saw and learned during all her excursions. The mystery deepened further when Iris, a tiny familiar likely summoned by the Isle's shadowy architect, appeared out of nowhere, prompting many questions but providing few answers. For now, she seems content to observe the expedition from a distance. As the crew explored more of these strange shores, a picture of the Isle's true purpose began to take shape. By all accounts, it appears to be a repository for knowledge and monuments from the 5th Astral Era. To keep these precious relics safe, the occult crescent is surrounded by a magical ward, separating it from the outside world. Similar magics are also believed to prevent the expedition's vessel leaving port. Among the island's ruins stand 2 spires, the Tower of Blood on the South Horn and its northern counterpart, the Tower of Magic. While both are considered key to unraveling the Isle's secrets, it is the latter in which the occult crescent's architect is thought to reside. An island-wide ward keeping knowledge within and interlopers without. A mysterious entity capable of wielding such magics. What will transpire when their true identity is unveiled? Or something along those lines. That sound alright to you? Huzzah! Thanks for listening. I'm sure there'll be plenty more to write about before the expedition ends. Can't help but worry about the crew, though. Say, why don't you go and pay him a visit? No doubt, though, you'll be needed back on the Isle sooner rather than later. Excellent. I presume you'll be using the ethereal current like you usually do? Give old Kettenram my regards when you arrive. Fairy on North America, you think, got the world's first for completing all the upgrades. Here you go, Geralt. We'll count on you to gather all 4 components for owning the blade. Well, I gathered one of them. Kinda. Cracking work. Time to get that knife owned to perfection. Though I think I'll have a quick sniff through a rum to help me concentrate. Don't want to mess this up. No wonders a drop of rum will do ya. My mind's clear and my hands are steady. Here goes. Again, he's just upgrading. I mean, it makes sense that he's just upgrading his equipment rather than our relic, which is why we don't get a free relic. Some of my finest work to date. Razor sharp and overflowing with ether. With the blade owned to perfection, we can get to work on those dispelling magics. I can't fucking speak. You mentioned the knife's dispelling magic. How are we supposed to go about improving them? Concept's simple enough. You take a dispeller of some form and imbue the blade with it. A knife as perfectly owned as ours will absorb a fair few dispellers, mind. Trouble is, your average glamour dispeller ain't fit for the task. We'll need a much stronger catalyst. In that case, I suggest we utilize specialist prisms known as phantom dispellers. They ought to meet your exacting requirements. Never heard tell of such catalysts. How might they be obtained? They are found in places suffused with ether, sites of intense battle, to be specific. In truth, these phantom dispellers will have manifested unseen at many of the battlefields you fought upon. Thanks to your tenure on this isle, however, they will henceforth be detectable. Given the multi-layered nature of your weapon's illusory endowment, my advice is to collect several varieties. A selection of phantom dispellers Alpha, Beta, and Lambda should suffice. No, it's not Lambda. Is it? It's been a while since I've played Half-Life, which is, yeah, Lambda is the upside down Y. Okay. Is that Upsilon? Okay. Is that just Gamma? Am I just that bad? Is that just Gamma? Because that would make it's just Gamma. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, etc., etc. You had to learn the whole thing when you joined a pseudo frat. Ooh. Yeah, we don't have those. That makes a lot of sense. Because I remember delta. I just often... Like, I remember delta and epsilon and like that. I just don't remember gamma for some reason. Theta is also... Like, delta and theta I know from math and science. Because delta is used for the difference between two things. And theta is often the depiction of a zero. Kind of. And then lambda I mostly know from Half-Life. As ever, I'm loath to burden you so, but I fear your talents make you the prime candidate for this endeavour. Yeah, unfortunately. What do you need me to do? I'm guessing it's a bunch of Occult Crescent or something to do with dungeons? Or, more likely, roulette. That's the spirit. Reckon 100 of those dispellers apiece will be plenty. And I really do mean it this time. I won't have you scurrying about there for extra dispellers once you're back. They realised that people hated that method. What's a relic without a good grind? Yep. Can be obtained from Fates and Critical Encounters on Northhorn. And Duty Roulette. Okay. Okay. Ah, good to see you. Trial, normal, and high level. Okay. Don't blame the fellow for feeling concerned, but morale's high, despite us being trapped here. And I've got good news besides. We finally cleared a route to the north. Took some doing, mind. Scrambling across sheer cliffs, battling upstream through raging rapids, and wending our way through gloomy caves until we finally reached a basin of sorts. We soon set up camp among some ruins, then set to work establishing a path back here. Any road, how about we head straight to the Northhorn? With you back in the fold, we can get straight to work. Good. I'll let the archive know. We'll be waiting over yonder by Jeffroy. I guess that means I'll actually do trials and normal raid roulettes. Because normally those are the ones that I skip. That's a really good combination of the Tycoon leggings and the Viera starting legs. That looked really good. With the northern base camp up and running, we're ready to proceed at a moment's notice. That said, usual precautions apply. We're better off sticking together en route. I've not journeyed to the Northhorn since emerging from the sarcophagus. Wonder what curiosities await. I shall join you. Oh, a change of heart? Or perhaps new orders to help us? I will simply be observing your companion. Well, suppose she has been keeping an eye on us this whole while. Don't see any harm in letting her tag along. Right, when you're ready to depart, just say a word. New Phantom jobs will be available on the North Wall. Give me the horn. Kinda looks like Alamigo a bit. Nim? I know that one of those was Nim. I don't know. That one. That one looks like Alamigo to me, but I don't. I know that this is the War of the Magi, but that's what that looks like the areas in Thingy more than in Alamigo, like the salt flats, more so than like Amdapor, Mark, or Nim. Like, that's obviously Nim. I'm guessing that's Markian. Mark architecture has a direct through line in design to Uldar and Alamigo. Oh, fair enough. That would... I suppose that makes sense, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's supposed to be Amdapor. Well, does Amdapor have spores and webs? I suppose this confirms that it would. I thought that was the ruination of Amdapor. Because of the Markians and the War of the Magi. Because I assumed that it was the Void Scent that did it. Apparently not. It was their own doing. Overuse of their magics caused different corruption. The more you know. Think about it, Amdapor used white magic, nature, spores, webs, etc. Yeah. I guess I had just always rationalized it as being like, because when you do the Amdapor dungeons, you're fighting a lot of Void Scent. So I had rationalized it as being the Markians sending Void Scent to destroy Amdapor. But, more than you know. Our goals here are twofold. Uncover the truth of the occult crescent, and ensure the crew make it home in one piece. Now, I reckon finding the Isle's architect's key to achieving both. Given that he's probably holed up in the Tower of Magic, finding a way in should be our first order of business. According to our scouts, the fiends in this part of the island are a damn sight tougher than the beasties we've encountered so far. If you find yourself struggling, you'd best head back to the Southhorn for a spot of training. I should also mention the surveyors have turned up some interesting new trinkets. Speak with the crew if that tickles your fancy. Oh, and don't forget to attune to the camp's aetheryte while you're here. My friend, I wish to have a quick word with you. Let me know once you've completed your preparations. I was hoping we could discuss the soul shards. You know, those crystalline records of martial methods conceived by the 12 city-states of Eld. As you no doubt recall, I posited they would only function upon the Isle itself. Was my hypothesis correct? Part of me had wondered whether you in particular might be able to wield the shard's power beyond the ward. Evidently not. In truth, I've also been pondering the reason you were summoned here in the first place. If the voice you heard belongs to the island's architect, then seeking him out in the Tower of Magic ought to provide answers on that front too. In other words, the time's come to venture forth once more. Okay. I really need to do Forked Tower of Blood. Interesting. So, Power Rangers meets Xena Warrior Princess. Pajamas. I always end up hating the healing kit. You see that? Like, that makes more sense as a healer set to me than Monk. But, whatever. This will just be a recolor. Yeah. Just be a recolor of the other set. Yeah. Had just checked. Yeah. Okay, what about casting? It still looks like pajamas. I mean, I think it's mostly the hat that does that. Like, I don't hate the scarf. I don't like those sleeves, though. Too poofy. Too poofy. Don't like it. Yeah, I don't like the way that any of those look. This looks very Dragon Quest. I don't hate the gloves. I mean, there's multiple sets of gloves that do a similar thing, but this is a much higher res version. I don't hate those. The trousers are incredibly, incredibly basic. Like, this looks like high-res ARR glam. but it really does scream Dragon Quest to me. Okay. Wait, what? Okay, we're getting more modern classes. I mean, I suppose there was Dancer and stuff on the South Horn, so it shouldn't be that surprising. But it's just seeing them all be, like, classes that we play as feels a bit weird. I want the riding map. Final fixative. Ah, yes. Final Mark II. Boots are incredibly basic, but I don't hate the top. Again, though, it feels like this would be Ul'dan garb, and the other one would be maybe Gridanian, like casual garb. Like, these feel like they could have been ARR glams. I don't hate the cloak. Is that just the same thing as the other one, but without the cloak? The boots, I don't hate those boots. They've at least got a couple of details. And these, like, braces, I don't hate. But yeah, I'm not overly impressed. It's legit. Oh, all of the jobs from the North Horn playable classes in 14. 'Cause it feels like they are. Everything I've seen so far has been a playable job. Jesus Christ. I've checked all of their stuff. Okay. How about... Does it change? Appearance. No. And it doesn't... Oh, okay. So if I had the Arcanaut set 2, I could trade it in for the newer set. Okay. I don't hate that. Oh, but only if you have the upgraded version. Is it the same... I mean, I suppose I don't have a reason not to do that. Although now my glam's all kind of fucked up. But okay. So, yeah, what does it... Is it the same material? No, it's just the final fixative. It's just a shit ton of the final fixative. Which you buy for either gold or silver. I think you could get it for both. Yeah. Okay. So it feels like potentially getting armor isn't as difficult because you don't have to get what was it, Scarletite from the Forked Tower? Because the Forked Towers are now completely optional. I mean, I know that they were already optional, but like, unless there's another tier that unlocks, there isn't like a hyper armor, hyper weapon like there was in Eureka, where if you were doing Baldessian Arsenal, you got resources that you could upgrade an equipment set further so that you'd be even better at doing other stuff. Back on the South Horn, the only way into the Forked Tower was by way of the ethereal node that appeared during those auroral mirages. Assuming a similar node exists on this part of the island, we ought to look for that structure housing it. If my hunch is correct, there'll be a confluence connected to the tower nearby. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll also be taking a look around myself. Get in touch via Link Pearl if you find it. Okay. Bear with me one moment, because I cannot run around looking like this. Can't do it. I just can't do it. What do I want to run around like, though? It's been a while. What was it? This? What is that? I don't remember which ones. Yeah. I still need. Bleh. Yeah. Don't like how awkward it appears to be to just try and get down. That's a bit annoying. I'm assuming the chests have different different drops, even if only slightly. Although it's probably still largely bullshit that I already have. Because I have a lot of bullshit. Is that a CE? I think it is. Proto Carbuncle? Atlas Carbuncle. Why the fuck did Burnbot just shit itself? Because it lost connection to Discord. And it doesn't like when it loses connection. While this does appear to be a confluence, the flow of ether is barely perceptible. Regardless of whether this location is actually linked to the Tower of Magic or not, Kettenrealm will wish to hear your findings. At least it's not making me... Oh wait, no, he's coming to us? Okay. Well, it's definitely a confluence. And this structure is almost identical to the one on the South Horn. I think it's safe to say this is where the ethereal node ought to be. Something's not quite right. I'm not sure if arcane trickery's to blame, but this pavilion's completely inert right now. No point in us pondering out here, though. Let's head back to camp and see if we can't chip away at the archive seal some more. But let's get some more fast travel stuff first. Yeah? Yeah. God, I need a riding map already. Okay. Shadow Thief. Judging by the fact that that Thie still isn't dead, maybe they've fixed some of the balancing. Cat and Ram tells me you found a confluence by the pavilion. Pray, share more details. Though it was the fates more than the seas that needed balancing. Judging by your account, I believe the confluence does indeed connect with the Tower of Magic. I can see it in my mind palace. Ah, and there goes the familiar sensation of the seal eroding. Any ideas as to why we can't use the ethereal node? Several, but let me first touch upon the forked towers themselves. Over 1,500 years ago, the island's architect foresaw a calamitous disaster, and thus sought to preserve a facet of all civilization here on the occult crescent. But to do so would mean storing the very knowledge that imperiled the world in a single location. Measures to prevent its misuse would be essential. Hence the ward and all the storms in Shade's Triangle. Precisely. And it is the forked towers that form the backbone of this approach. The Tower of Blood to project those deadly storms, and the Tower of Magic to maintain that impenetrable ward. Both undertakings require highly advanced techniques and near constant monitoring, which is why the towers are manned. As I've said before, I believe it is the architect himself who resides in the Tower of Magic. So the towers are both conduits for all that magic, and humble abodes for the overseers. Seems like a lot of bother just to keep one tiny island hidden from prying eyes. Tiny island packed with potentially world-ending knowledge. Do you feel the same way? Either way, the Tower of Magic is the focal point of the ward. All the Isle's ethereal currents converge upon it. If the confluence you discovered is indeed so greatly diminished, we must assume not all is well with the island's ether. Thus begins our next investigation. So the Isle's ethereal currents are in disarray, rather. Come to think of it, the landscape here is completely different to what we saw down south. It feels warped, unnatural even. We ought to investigate what caused those changes. I suggest we start by surveying multiple confluences. That should give us a clearer picture of what's happening at the ethereal level. I have a mind to accompany you on your excursion. That way I can immediately share what the seal's undoing reveals at each site. No need to pay me any heed, though. In the interest of avoiding my untimely demise at the hands of some fell fiend, I shall follow stealthily at a safe distance. In that case, I'll stay put. I suggest you concentrate your search on the ruins in the area, and check for any abnormalities. Okay. That's a fair few areas to go through. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we get to go in the elevated parts of Nim. So I think the only time that we get to do that is still the leap of faith. What's with the music? Not even the ravages of time can dim the allure of Nemean ingenuity. Of course, the Nim of my time was not so unconcerned with gravity. And this strange floating aspect was not an inherent feature of the city, though having examined the confluence, the underlying phenomenon is clear. Excess wind energies have weakened the bonds between building and ground, creating the landscape you see before you. Intriguingly, this result seems somehow intentional. That hardly aligns with the goal of accurately preserving 5th Astral Era history. Alas, there's not much else to glean from this confluence. Let us seek out other ruins. Chest. Bear. Enria? I just tried to press F to get off my mount like this was Pal World. Okay, this is Fenrir on crack. God damn, he just keeps going and going. That was fun. Okay, so I get 3 from doing a fate. So that means I need to do about 33 fates. Assuming that I need... Oh, I do need 100 of each type. Okay. But... bearing in mind that we've only just unlocked the zone... 33 fates. That's not terrible. Like, the fates are pretty quick and easy. Critical engagements probably give some, and probably give more. I don't really like navigating these areas, though. They're just kind of awkward to navigate. Is it... There's 3 different types. Are they going to be linked to which city-state I'm closest to, or... How does that resolve when I'm in the North Pole? I might not have wanted to come down here. Yeah, because I don't like that there isn't really... There's just the going all the way to the very back is the only way to get back up on top of there without going all the way back there and up. That's kind of awkward. I mean, I say that. It's better than Eureka Pagos already. But... that's not a difficult bar. Is this the actual music from Andapur Keep as well? It sounds familiar. Not that there's much in here, Jesus. Something tells me we ought not linger here. Thankfully, I was able to examine several ethereal flows en route. Something has sapped the area's earth-aspected energies, leading to a decline in the purifying potential of the soil, and a veritable mold invasion. Now, I understand the lost city of Andapur is likewise riddled with rot. Yet I find it difficult to believe those mouldering forces could sweep as far as here. Not only is the North Horn isolated from the rest of the Isle, the occult crescent itself is miles away from the nearest port. Besides, if those foul spores had somehow spread here, I would expect the entire region to be infested. At least we are beginning to glimpse the sheer extent of the environmental decay. It is fortunate the nearby ethereal currents were still somewhat detectable. On that note, I suggest we take our leave of these streets before we ourselves sprout mouldy growths. More ruins await. I kind of love the fact that nothing seems to give a shit that I'm just running around. I know that some of them, like that one, are aggressive, but so far nothing's actually hit me. Oh, Jesus. Hello. Hello. I'm having a wonderful time. No. I'm not at all distracted. Okay, we got Gamma that time. So yeah, it might be depending on which ancient city-state you are closest to. Kind of like how Bosnia has the 3 distinct zones. It's just in this, they didn't enforce actual zones. We may as well try the CE. Wow, the magic carpet is bigger than I thought it was. That's a huge mound. Must be sat like that. Although no, because that would be the mount seating. Those ears look like Makote. I think it's just the hair isn't what I normally see on a Makote, and then the horns are kind of throwing me off. I still want that mount. I also need to get any of the wings. I mean, I still need to do any of the Endwalker extremes. Yeah, I want that one too. Frenchie. Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. So far, this doesn't seem that bad. I don't know if there's a mechanic we've not seen. I think he's just repeating now, though, so... I don't think there is going to be a mechanic that we've not seen. I mean, I don't expect every CE to be weird and wonderful and unique, but... there certainly are some weird and wonderful and unique ones. My buffs are wearing out. I think this boss wiped everyone when you were in a little bit ago. Oh, okay. He doesn't seem... I mean, the Bomberman patch attack, where all of the different spinning blades does like an X attack outfit. I can understand people not realizing where the safe zones for those are, but otherwise, he's not that bad, it seems. It's just kind of difficult to tell what is something only being overlapped once and something that is truly safe. Okay, so that gives 10. So you only need to do 10 critical engagements. That's not bad. What the fuck? Motherfucker. Okay. Lose that much. No. I'm not gonna get there in time. Okay, so that's pop. Good time. Definitely not getting there in time. Ooh. Yep. We all know what the first thing I'm gonna buy is. And it's riding speed. This is clearly mocking. Oh, I can get to that one. Tiny Terror. Wait for me, I got little legs. Except I don't, they're just slow. I got slow legs. I think that's only the third carrot that I've gotten without buying them off the market board or some shit. I mean, I say that like I've spent thousands of hours in the Occult Crescent. I'm really not. I didn't like the South Horn. I presume... I did not mean to press that. That was my mic boom hitting the thing. What was I going to say? Oh, I presume that there's going to be critical engagements that give... that give job crystals again. Phantom jobs. This guy's fucking adorable. Why do we have to fight him? He looks like one of the Wutini or the Egg Snatchers from Spyro. Wait. Small for one. Oh, are these knockback? Okay, I was thinking they might have been like Asian Prime. From ARF. Can't help but notice there's different numbers of them. Oh, because that's how quickly they're channeling. Right, okay, yes, yeah, so you want to work your way down. I get it. I see what you're up to. Okay, we've reached the point of the fight where I'm ready for it to just die. I kind of like that fight. It's kind of fun. Oh, daytime. How much do I need? To actually get the riding map. It's usually like a couple of thousand. Yeah, 3,000. Okay. Okay. Tell me your secrets. On this occasion, I scarce need to examine the confluence. It is all too clear the vicinity is being subsumed by the void. In ancient Mark, mages would infuse their ceremonial chambers with astral-aspected ether to facilitate their summoning art. That's not to imply the city was overrun with summoned void scent. If this settlement lies in such a state, it can only mean one thing. My theories can wait, however. There are more ruins to explore. I'm not gonna get to that scene. Naturally, maybe I could get there. Maybe. It's unlikely. But unless it's in an awkward to navigate to spot, do have 3 minutes, well, 2.5 minutes to get there. I'm gonna need all 2.5 fucking minutes. The silver slimes is giving Nocstella vibes from Elden Ring. Hey, we made it! With a minute to spare. Interesting music. Necromancer. Oh man. It's literally a blue mage? The fuck? I mean, I suppose we are near Tuliola and Turai. Okay, that one's gonna do Planescracker, that one's gonna do a... That one's... okay. I like that I actually understand what it's doing, though. Is it actually a roulette? Kinda. That's cool. What? Why the fuck are they running that way? Oh, sweet babies. feel lucky. I feel pretty fucking lucky. Lilliputian lyric. Okay, that would codify. Magic hammer. Wait, there's a map box? Please tell me it's the dancing robot. I miss him. Begins with an A. Not a robot. Okay. I'll take your word for it. Is this one gonna get flipped as well, or? Yes. Like this guy though. This guy's cool. I'm starting to think that it's just 90-ish degrees from where it starts, rather than it being random. Ooh, makes sense. I got Blue Mage. Oh no, I have to use it. I have to use it. I've done 2 CEs and I've gotten the things from both CEs. Nice. Aero, Missile, Aqua Breath, Mighty Guard, and White Wind. Are now learnable. So I still have to... It still functions as Blue Mage. Where I can't use the thing unless I see it. Okay. Okay. Cool. But I think I'm still missing Sage from the South Horn. I think I got all the other ones though. Oh no, this is Scarlic, which is Alamigo. Yeah, that makes sense. This sprawling structure bears all the hallmarks of Scarlic craftsmanship, but my eyes drawn to the extensive flooding. A surfeit of water-aspected ether appears to have disrupted the area's natural balance. One of the crew told me the ancient city of Scala now lies at the bottom of the lock. Though I state the obvious, 'twas not always so. The city's submerged state is the result of a calamitous flood, not some architectural quirk. In other words, if one sought a faithful reproduction of Scarlic civilization as it stood in the 5th Astral Era, replicating the subsequent flood would be completely anachronistic. Well, I've now seen enough to support my hypothesis, and I imagine Kettenbraum will wish to hear of it too. Let us return to the camp post-haste. What if this was an experiment? To predict what was going to happen to these civilizations in the longer run, rather than to try and just preserve them. I feel like that's not that crazy. I do want to join that CE, but I think I've got time to do so. By doing this, and then doing this. Well, I have Battle High. I was thinking, that doesn't look like the normal, like, rage. Oh, it's a book. This one's math, isn't it? This one's math. Calling it. Knowledge level correction. Your knowledge level has been altered. +4. Okay. Prime knowledge level. Okay. Now it's 24. 24 does divide by 3. A lot of people are dead. A lot of people don't know math. Bearing in mind that Patinga and I have just done Halicarnassus Savage, which has the book drop in it, this is kind of familiar. So I'm now on 22. This is a rough fight, not because I'm struggling, but because everyone else is. This is going on for a while. It's still a third of the fight left. 24. Okay, so is it... I've not been paying that much attention to what the other ones are. Is it that there's only one bad one? So even if you were just picking you have a 2 in 3 chance of being correct? Or is it sometimes there's only one bad one, sometimes there's 2 bad ones? Sometimes there are no bad ones. Well, it's all just based on your personal resolution. Okay. It is a math boss. It's just, I think it's considerably easier a math boss than Ritter on a Lighthouse. But I understand why that is the case. Oh, I got more notes. I've gotten so lucky with notes. Or their drop rate is significantly higher. Either or. Ooh, that was quite the journey. I'm not sure I'd have made it without you. Now, all the ruins we saw exhibited ethereal abnormalities. The Nemean remains now float skyward due to excess wind energies. The Scarlet structures have been inundated with water, while the Amdapori and Maki remnants are beset by earth and astral aspected imbalances, respectively. I also sense that the area surrounding the camp has been parched dry by an excess of fire aspected ether. In short, the ethereal balance of the North Horn has completely collapsed. I believe the architect used the region to model the impact of such drastic ethereal changes. Ruins here met a similar fate to their Eorzean counterparts. It's as if he intentionally replicated the wounds inflicted during the War of the Magi. Hold it. What end the architect conducted this experiment, I do not know, but these conditions stem from excessive use of ether in accordance with each civilization's unique history. Perhaps disrupting the flow of ether to the Tower of Magic was part of his plan then. Not that I have the foggiest idea why he'd want to. Nor have I. To jeopardize precious remnants of the Fifth Astral Era in this way contradicts the Isle's very purpose. Regardless, if your theory is correct, I'm afraid we'll have a difficult time tracking down the tower via ethereal flows, though the fact the pavilion exists at all ought to provide some encouragement. Are you suggesting there might be an ethereal node and means of activating it after all? I love a good mystery as much as the next fella, but we're practically drowning in the bleeding things. Any road, before we go to solving them, I reckon we ought to take stock of what we've gleaned so far. But I am gonna have to call it here, because I need to think about getting ready for raid. But we will yeah, it is raid night. But we'll be back with more of this on next week, by which point hopefully I will have ground enough of the glamour, the phantom dispellers, to progress to the next stage of the relic. But we'll see. Because I also wanted to have every phantom relic to stage 3 by the time that stage 4 came out. I have not done that. Because I took a break from the game. I got most of the way there. I mean, I say most of the way there. It takes, for one stage of the like, every relic for one relic stage is 31,500 tomestones. Including those 31,500 tomestones for the stage 4 relic, I only need 57,000 tomestones total for all of the relics. Because I've just got the Fizz ranged, apart from the first stage of Bard, and then all of the magical ranged other than Pictomancer. Because I prioritized Pictomancer, given that I didn't have any other relic for it. So yeah, only 57,000 tomestones. That's all. Light work. Light work. I mean, that's what? Not even... that's about 57 days. I mean, it's not. You could do it a lot quicker than that. But that's like 57 days worth of relatively light doing your dailies. Because that's not even doing every daily. Because how many... That one gives you 60, 160, 280, 380, 440, 540, 660, 720, and that's not including any of the stuff that you get. I thought that you got more than that, to be fair. But yeah, what the dungeons will give you separately. So that's mostly for like your expert and your level cap. Because obviously there's no guarantee that you'll get those in any of the other ones, but yeah. I think getting... you can relatively easily get about 1,000 in a day. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go and chill a little bit before we throw ourselves at X-Death. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Later.